Am I the asshole? Because I put makeup on my little brother. My friends and I were going to see Barbie tonight. We were all hanging out in my room, trying out different faces outfits. And my little brother came in and asked what we were doing. I said we're going to dress up to go to the movies tonight. He asked if he could come. And I said to ask Dad. He asked if he could dress up too. And I said sure. He ran to his room and came back with any clothes that were pink or had flowers on them. My friend put pink eyeliner on him. He looked super cute. When my dad came home and saw him, he was pissed. He said it's disgusting to put makeup on a 7-year-old, even though it was just eyeliner. He also said I'm no longer allowed to go to the movies. I think he's being an absolute buzzkill for literally no reason. It's just eyeliner. What's the big deal? I know makeup isn't usually for kids, but come on. One time isn't going to matter. Not the asshole. Your dad is freaking out for no reason and then punishing you for a rule he obviously just made up. Sounds like he's way conservative tbh. Not the asshole. You and your brother were both having fun, doing something you both wanted. Nobody was harmed here except maybe your dad's homophobia, transphobia. Not the asshole. Stay close to your brother, he's going to need you. Not the asshole. You are right. It wasn't done to adultize the kid. It was just a game of dress up. Like putting on a Halloween costume. His father WAAAY overreacted. Not the asshole. This was more like dressing up for Halloween than wearing makeup. But agree with those pointing out not to share eye makeup. Not the asshole. Your dad is severely overreacting to a little eyeliner. Is the kid allowed to put makeup on his face for Halloween, or is that forbidden too? Makeup in the spirit of fun is completely different from putting a full face of makeup on all day. For the sake of self-confidence and social acceptance by peers. Not the asshole. Sounds like he's a homophobe to the point of assuming that putting eyeliner on the kid will make him gay or something. Info: you know your father. Did he say that comment due to your brother's age or gender? Not the asshole. He see you dressing up and wants to like you as he looks up to you. He doesn't see it any different than having some fun. Your dad is just of a different generation that it was not seen as normal for boys to dress up or put makeup on. Not the asshole. If he didn't like it, he could have asked you nicely to remove it or not do it again. Not letting you go to the movies is overkill. Not the asshole at all, but the movie is PG-13 for a reason. Not the asshole for sure. Sounds like your dad overreacted. You were having fun and included him in the fun of dressing up for a movie. I'm sure he was having a great time until dad came along. A bit of eyeliner one time is not the end of the world. In this situation I see it as being the same as face painting. Not the asshole. X200B. Your dad is an homophobic but you are making him gay. Of course not the asshole. Where has your father been for the last 52 years? Everyone mentioning transphobia and homophobia. He literally said because he's 7-man facepalming. You're the asshole. In my opinion, eyeliner for a 7-year-old is not appropriate no matter what gender. 7-year-olds still have baby skin. Pink clothes are fine of course, but eyeliner. Is that necessary? That's a literal kid. Totally get the dad's response. A kid's skin is easier irritable to such chemicals. Looks like you tried to pin your dad as homophobe when his concern was his son's age, not gender. It's also funny how everyone trashes the dad for being a responsible parent. People are just waiting to finger point and say bad guy no likey makeup on child boy. I wouldn't put unsanitized eyeliner on a child of any gender. But your dad's reaction is too much. To all the people saying real makeup is safer than kids' makeup. No makeup is safer than no makeup. It requires proper removal and most makeup is not regulated for there's the risk of allergic reaction. Was it just because he was 7? I grew up being the doll. Getting makeup put on me constantly. And I hated it. Now obviously your brother is old enough to agree or disagree. But is it possible your dad is just worried your sibling is too young for makeup? Regardless of gender. You know your dad and you knew what his reaction would be. You didn't care having amusement for yourself at his expense. And yes, he is making a big deal because your brother is too young to understand. But he makes the rules that affect you. You provoked him. Learn from this moving forward, but you are at fault here. If your brother consented enthusiastically all the way through, you are not the asshole. If he got to the theater and was not happy about his appearance and you forced him to go like that, you're the asshole. Calm down about dad's shocked, angry reaction. Dads equate their son's masculinity with their own. He's not going to want his son to enjoy wearing makeup or be viewed as too girly by other boys. When he is no longer angry, have a sit down with dad and talk it out. The never going to the movies again shows you how disturbed he was. Approach this subject with an open mind as you would want him to approach something that is important to you. You guys just didn't realize he would be so offended. In the future, dress him like a Ken and not like Barbie. You're the asshole. You are treating your little brother like a toy, not a sibling. Not the asshole, but I get your dad's POV. You're the asshole. I'd disown you for pulling some shit like this in my house. You're unquestionably not the asshole. But your brother sounds very young. You might be an asshole for taking him to an existentialist movie about mortality and the meaning of being alive. Not the asshole. Is Barbie any good? Or did you not manage to see it? Not the asshole. This is just a guess. But I suspect your dad would have reacted differently if you'd put eyeliner on a 7-year-old girl. You were including your little brother and letting him have fun with you. Not sure the Barbie movie is appropriate for a 7-year-old. But that's another matter. You're the asshole because it's not safe to share eyeliners or basically any beauty products. You could have caused your little brother to get an infection. Your dad is the asshole here. Don't you put makeup when you wear a costume. Let the kid have some fun. You're the asshole. Your story points to him being homophobic. But when asked point blank, knowing your dad, is it about his age or gender? You respond that it is, in fact, about his age. It's also very unsanitary to share makeup. Especially eye makeup. On top of which it wasn't even your eye makeup, but rather your friend's makeup. Which is how you end up with an eye infection. It is disgusting to share makeup with a young kid. Not the asshole. Your dad is an You're the asshole cause a 7-year, no matter their gender, shouldn't wear makeup without their parents' consent. Not the asshole. Your little brother saw you and your friends getting ready and he wanted in. Even got his own pink clothes assembly. Your dad sounds like the men can only wear gray and black. With blue somewhere. Because this is what men do kind of guy. Not the asshole. He's 7 and doesn't care. But your dad sucks. Am I the asshole? For telling my girlfriend a wedding was child-free even though it wasn't. My girlfriend and I went to my sister's wedding last week and I told her it was child-free even though it wasn't. Context: my girlfriend has a kid. A little girl who's 3 and she takes her everywhere. We rarely have private moment as a couple. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my girlfriend's daughter. But it gets exhausting to never have moments between just me and my girlfriend. So, when I told my girlfriend about my sister's wedding, I told her that it was child-free and I asked if she could have someone babysit her daughter. She asked her mom, who agreed. At the wedding, there was obviously children, a detail I'd forgotten. And when my girlfriend confusingly asked me why were there kids if it was a child-free wedding, I simply told her I had no idea. She went to the bathroom during the dinner but I noticed she wasn't coming back, so I went to look for her and I encountered my sister, who looked very angry. My sister called me an asshole and a coward. Apparently, she ran into my girlfriend, who was upset with her because my GF thought my sister had only applied the child-free rule to her. She told my girlfriend that her wedding was never child-free, which made my girlfriend even madder. But at me. And she left. I called my girlfriend but she didn't answer, and when I came home her things and her daughters weren't there anymore. My sister is also not talking to me anymore because she thinks I threw her under the bus, even though I never told my girlfriend it was my sister's idea to only apply the child-free rule to her. I think I had a good reason to tell my girlfriend it was child-free, but having both my sister and girlfriend mad at me is making me think otherwise. You're the asshole. And I agree with your sister. A total coward. You could have just said, I'd really like a special night alone with just us two. Do you think your mom could watch your daughter for the night so we can connect? But instead you lied and manipulated. How did you think you wouldn't get caught in that lie? I don't think you have a GF anymore. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. Yes. Your girlfriend jumped to the obvious conclusion that you'd been told the wedding was child-free to exclude her daughter, and went to your sister about it. How exactly else did you think this was going to end up? So now you've got a justifiably pissed off sister who had to handle your mess on her wedding day. And a GF who has learned you lie to her. You're the asshole. If you want to play childish games of lying instead communicating like an adult, then expect to be treated like one. And by the way, my girlfriend has a kid. A little girl who's 3 and she takes her everywhere. At the wedding, there was obviously children. A detail I'd forgotten. This and the fact that you felt the need to ask if you were the R on Reddit makes me think your bulb is a bit dimmer than average. Wow. Massive. You're the asshole. Your sister is right. You are an R and a coward. You could have just told your GF that you'd like a night out. Just the two of you. But no. You had to make her believe that her daughter wasn't allowed to go. Of course her 3-year-old goes everywhere with her. What did you think would happen? Dating a mom. I hope she dumps you. You're the asshole. And she left you. Dude. She's not your girlfriend anymore. You're the asshole for lying. For one. And showing you have zero respect for your hopefully ex-girlfriend. You're also an asshole for being in a relationship with a mother when you clearly don't want to be a father and don't even understand that children are not accessories or pets. WTF. She takes her everywhere. Like that's not what you're supposed to do with your young child. You're also super terrible at critical thinking. WTF did you think would happen when she got to the wedding and there were children there. You sound like a 15-year-old. Not a grown-ass adult. You're the asshole. I understand you wanted to spend time with your girlfriend alone, but instead of just communicating that to her, you fabricated an entire lie that backfired in your face. How hard is it to tell your girlfriend that you want a night with just the two of you? Without her baby? You're the asshole. You're the asshole. You lied for no reason and we're easily found out. This is a situation entirely of your own making. I found a typo. This should read, my ex-girlfriend. Also, you're the asshole for lying. And since you played with fire, you got burned. You're the asshole. Communication is key. If you want some alone time with your girlfriend, tell her. What you did was really a whole move. You demonstrate that you are a selfish liar. Wow, you're the asshole. She's right. You are a coward and you did throw your sister under the bus. For something she didn't even do. You threw blame and avoided a mature conversation with the person you were dating. What you did was super hurtful and not the way to go about dealing with an issue that you are having. Honestly, don't expect her to come back. My sister is also not talking to me anymore because she thinks I threw her under the bus, even though I never told my girlfriend it was my sister's idea. You're the asshole. Come on. Who else would choose child-free except bride and groom? Asshole. You're the asshole. You done fucked up right good there, buddy. Holy shit. When I came home, her things and her daughters weren't there anymore. I love a happy ending. You're the asshole. Lying always makes you the Seriously. Dude. What did you honestly think was going to happen when you got to the wedding and your ex saw the other kids? You're the asshole. She is right that you are a coward. Obviously, when you date a woman with a 3-year-old daughter, you are going to have limited private time. That is common sense. If you feel like you need more, pull on your big boy pants and have a conversation. You chose to lie rather than talk to her, so of course she doesn't have time for that bullshit. You also threw your sister under the bus, so I completely understand why she is angry with you. You're the asshole. Not only did you lie, you put your sister in a terrible place. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my girlfriend's daughter. But it gets exhausting to never have moments between just me and my girlfriend. Congrats. You don't have to worry about the kid cramping your life anymore. You don't love any of the females in your life, do you? Hated the kid being around in her mom's life. Hated your GF for taking care of her young child but too cowardly to say it. Didn't care about your sister enough to care about whether you'd mess up her day at her wedding. You're the asshole. Glad she knows her worth. Fastest. You're the asshole I've typed in a while. Dude. You're misreading having been broken up with as her being mad at you. She's probably got over being mad at you when she was packing. She will get mad all over again when you inevitably harass her. The harassment will be something you identify in your own mind as trying to reason with her. You lied. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. Why didn't you just talk to your GF about having a night just the two of you? So instead of being an adult about it, you lie to her and wonder why she is upset with you. You're the asshole. You couldn't just say, let's have a nice evening with my family and have some adult time and conversation at an adult event. Can you ask your mom if she can watch the little one? That's not that hard. How could you be so dumb to think that she would not see other kids there? Am I the asshole for not realizing my female coworker is an engineer? I work at a tech company that works in a very specialized domain. I am a software engineer but work with some very custom hardware chips in my day-to-day. My team needed to integrate a new microcontroller into a product we are designing, and since I am the lead for the software that will interact with this component, my manager set up a meeting for me with the electrical engineer in charge of designing that component, who is on a different team. I have worked with various such other teams in the past, but this component was one that is considered quite specialized. When my manager and I talked about it, he did not refer much to the engineer I would be meeting and referred to the team and used the they, them pronoun. I referred to the designer as he many times and my manager did not correct me. The name was also very gender neutral. When I went to the meeting room, there was a younger woman in the room, probably in her mid to late 20s. None of the electrical engineers I have met before at my company have been women, and in general the few women engineers we have all work on things like web and front-end interface development. Since my manager had not corrected me when I said he him, I assumed this person was some kind of product manager on their team or something. She was also very dressed up, in a skirt, heels and makeup, which is an attire product managers and HR people typically have. I also would have expected someone in this position to be much older. So, I told her, "I'll be right back and make coffee while we wait for the engineer to arrive and to message me on Slack if he arrives." When I got back, I said something like he hasn't arrived yet. She then finally mentioned she was the engineer and angrily stormed out. I sent an apology email to her, but she has not responded yet, but an HR representative has added a meeting to my work calendar and I can see that she has a meeting at the same time on hers. Am I the asshole here? I feel embarrassed and I did not mean to assume she was not the engineer. Had my manager told me, or had she had a feminine name or profile picture, I would have not done so. I looked up her profile and she really is the most qualified person to work with me on this, even though she is really young. Enter room. You have a meeting with someone. Hi, I'm name. Hi, I'm gender neutral name. Great, how are you? Shall we get started? Instead, you blame your boss for not correcting you. You blame the industry for never having worked with a female. You blame her for being all dressed up, makeup, wearing a skirt. Instead, blame yourself for assuming it's a guy. Assuming a woman who wears makeup can't be electrical engineer. Spoiler. They can also do other jobs while wearing makeup and skirts, not just HR jobs. HR is going to have a field day with you. Honestly, how hard is it to enter the meeting room and upon seeing someone you don't know saying, "Hi, I'm X. Nice to meet you." She would have responded with her gender-neutral name and voila, you could have avoided all of this. You're the asshole. You made a ton of assumptions rooted in misogynistic views, whether intentional or not, and weren't even polite enough to introduce yourself to a colleague. As if she wasn't worth acknowledging. You deserve the HR meeting. I hope you learn something from this experience. You're the asshole for trying to put blame on your manager, or her name and lack of profile picture. But also incredibly dumb. Your manager set up the meeting with the engineer. Consider the leaps you made to assume she wasn't. You could having introduced yourself and not put yourself in this situation. You're the asshole. All you had to do was introduce yourself. And they would have also introduced themselves, thus revealing they were in fact the person you were meeting. I am also a female engineer with a gender-neutral name. The amount of emails I receive assuming I'm male is ridiculous. Don't be like them. Learn to change. And do better. Edit at least you were smart enough to make your own coffee instead of asking her to make it for you. Now I'm getting really salty every time I reread your post going back and checking her qualifications. Yeah. I would love to attend that HR meeting. You're the asshole. Rather than judging your coworker by her gender and her attire, you should have introduced yourself and asked if she was the engineer you had been scheduled to meet. This entire post is full of assumptions. From your description, this woman seems to be dressed formally and professionally for a work meeting. Women do not owe you a certain look in order to gain your respect. Good on your HR department for scheduling a meeting. Because your behavior is unacceptable. At least you admitted at the end that she was, in fact, the most qualified person for the job. Yeah, you're the asshole. This whole post is just one giant pile of excuse making for your ignorance and misogyny. That's not to mention that you haven't even considered the possibility that this person might use they/them pronouns, which would explain why they were referred to this way by your manager. People can be feminine and still be engineers. People can be young and still hold high-level job titles. Your assumptions are just your ignorance and misogyny talking. And that kind of conduct is not acceptable in any setting, let alone in the workplace. You're the asshole. The professional, polite thing to do would have been to say, "Hi, I'm Op. Are you X?" Instead, you saw a woman, judged her on her appearance, and didn't even bother to ask if she was the engineer. Just wandered off to make coffee. You're the asshole. You were told to meet a person in a meeting room. You arrived at that meeting room, saw a person, and what? Your brain short-circuited upon learning that person was a female. Another question: why did you assume this random woman in a meeting room would know who in pluperfect hell you were or how to message you if an acceptable male engineer was to appear? You're the asshole. I have seen you comments that you just weren't expecting a woman and the name wasn't feminine. Here is some breaking news: women are everywhere and have all types of names. You act like finding out an engineer could be a woman is as unbelievable as a puppy giving birth to kittens. Grow up. Expand your mind. Don't be a misogynist. You're the asshole. 10 seconds to prevent these misunderstandings. Hi. I work in. You're the asshole. Sorry, but you assumed something very wrong, and this is the reason why there aren't many women. No one should have to tell you that the coworker is female. You were told that the person you were meeting with was the engineer. You decided, oh, this well-dressed lady couldn't be one because insert outdated ideas. You're the asshole. All it would have taken was you sticking your hand out for a handshake and saying, "Hey, I'm Op. And you are." Edit corrected word. You're the asshole. So you walked into a meeting where one person was present and didn't even introduce yourself. You didn't even say, "Hi, my name is whatever and I'm the whatever at this company." Even if this poor woman wasn't the engineer you were meeting with, which seems incredibly unlikely. If you paid attention to any kind of context, she's probably somewhat important, but no. Because she's a woman and she's pretty obviously she couldn't be. You were rude and sexist. Congrats. You're the asshole ignoring the sexist stereotypes. You walked into a meeting room and saw a younger employee. Did you say hello, introduce yourself, and exchange names, job titles? No. For whatever reason, their name wasn't necessary for you to learn. Your time was more valued than theirs. Why should they sit around and message you when other meeting attendant shows up? Am I the asshole for not giving my son money to buy his own ticket? I took my 3 kids to the movies with my husband. When we arrived, my oldest, 15, said he wanted to watch a different movie than the rest of the family. I said that was fine, and we would meet him at the ice cream place across the street. His choice would start and end later. We started to split up. And then he said I forgot to give him money for a ticket. I asked why I would give him money for a ticket. He said he needs the money to buy his ticket. I said he could use his own money. He said that wasn't fair, because I was going to buy a ticket for him before. I said I was going to buy tickets for the whole family for a family outing. If he's doing his own thing, he needs to pay for it. He said he didn't want to pay and would just watch the same movie as the rest of us. He was grumpy afterwards. And my husband said I was petty. I don't think it's petty. I think it's a life lesson. People are more than piggy banks. Info: do you ever do activities that your eldest son wants to do? Or do you only do things that you want or that his younger siblings want? Basically, I'm asking if this is part of a larger trend. Info: so why didn't you tell him he would be responsible for it when he said he wanted to see a different movie? He should have brought up the fact that he wanted to see a different movie before you got the theater. You should have told him you would only pay for the one movie from the jump. Not wait to rub it in his face. Because, let's be honest, you knew he was going to ask for money. You're the asshole. It seems like you took him wanting to watch a different movie personally. My mother used to do this to my siblings and I. Forcing your kid to spend time with you under threat of punishment will not work out the way you want it to. Trust me. The punishment in this case is refusing to pay for the movie ticket as a direct result of wanting to watch a different movie. He is being penalized for wanting to see a different movie. You're the asshole. He's 15. He is looking for a little independence in his formative years at a time when he wouldn't have very many resources. It wouldn't hurt to let him see something he wants to see. Especially since the family wouldn't be talking in the movie theater anyways. Nah. You both could have communicated your expectations earlier. But I don't think either of you are in asshole territory. The point of the outing was a family trip. He wanted to watch a different movie which he then wouldn't be able to discuss with the rest of the family. Changes NTA to NAH. Which was my intent in line with my comment. I get the lesson you're trying to teach him. But I think the execution of it was poor. Why wait until you were splitting up? Why weren't you upfront about him having to pay when you agreed he could see a different movie? Have you had this kind of situation before and thus expected him to already know he'd have to pay for it? Were you upset he wanted to see something different? And were salty about it? I also think people are more than piggy banks is an icky thing to say over a movie ticket. This is a 15-year-old kid we're talking about. Not the asshole if he wants to do his own thing. Which in and of itself is fine. He should use his own money. There's a difference between inviting someone to an outing and offering to pay and being expected to give them the money so they can go do something else. Hey, want to get dinner on me? Nah. I'd rather eat with someone else. But I'll take the $25 you would have spent on dinner with me. Not the asshole. I think this was perfectly handled. Actually, movies are a treat. Your offer was to treat the family to a specific movie together. He declined and preferred something else. You politely accepted. But you shut down his assumption that you'd bankroll it. You politely left him the option to pay for it himself. You didn't allow him to act entitled. It'd be different if it was, say, his birthday or a specific reward for an achievement of his. But doesn't sound like that. Congrats. You taught your son that the way to control people is through money. You're the asshole. Not the asshole. It seems you were all going out to see a movie as a family. If he doesn't want to participate in the family events, you shouldn't have to bankroll it. Maybe compromise and take him another day, or let him go see the movie he wanted to see with his friends another time and give him the money for it, as he is still a kid. I think it's a life lesson. People are more than piggy banks. Rather, you're teaching him people can be bought. Having said that, I don't think anyone rises to our level. It just sounds like normal teen-parent friction. Poor behavior all round, but nah. Don't be surprised when he doesn't want to do anything with you going forward. Nah, a 15-year-old wanted to go see a movie he'd prefer and pretend to be more independent than he is yet. That's completely normal, and a movie ticket isn't that much money. If he has a job, he could buy his own ticket, but so could his parents, since it was their idea to take the family to the theater. Trash parent move. No lesson taught except do it my way or pay for your own life. Careful with this route. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. On top of that, why are you arguing with everyone who answers unfavorably? You asked this question. Like, don't get mad if you don't like our answers. Your husband knows you best. You seem very petty and hard to talk to. Definitely tar. This just feels like a power move. Don't tell him it's fine if he does his own thing and then withhold the money you were already going to spend on him. You're the asshole and petty AF. You're the asshole. He's 15. When exactly would he get a chance to watch a movie without his parents paying for it and taking him there? If he really wants to watch this one movie, why not let him have that? I don't think you taught him anything other than that he can't count on you. You're the asshole. How is all of you sitting together in the dark? Not talking. More of a family outing than most of you sitting together in the dark. Not talking. You could have created a story of the time he got to go to a movie by himself. Feel independent. And then have the fun of describing the film he saw to you all in the ice cream place later. Now he has a story of how you're a capricious, power-tripping meanie who insists on official fun or no fun at all. If this is your attitude, look forward to seeing very little of him as an adult. Glad I didn't have to worry about this. Family tome happened after the movie anyways. Dad would give us the money and we got to choice which one we wanted. Then wait at the DQ across the street. Missed if the time I didn't want to see the movies they did. It was the perfect plan for us. Your oldest is 15 and should be allowed his independence and still be allowed to ask mom for a movie ticket. He didn't ask for popcorn. I don't know about but I still think it was a bad move. You're the asshole. Your husband knows you best. The life lesson: the person with the most money controls things. Do what I want or no money. It doesn't seem like the loveliest of family outings. What do people always say here? When someone tells you who they are, believe them. You just told your son who you are. When we arrived, my oldest, 15, said he wanted to watch a different movie than the rest of the family. I said that was fine. This was the moment to mention any caveats. Like the money. You're the asshole. You came here to be judged. You're the asshole. Stop arguing and take your lumps. At least open your fecking mind that you could be wrong. You're the asshole. There's no lesson to be learned here. You're just petty. Am I the asshole for encouraging my mom not to take care of my dad's affair child if she did not want to? My dad cheated on Mom for years. During his affair he let me down many times too. He'd plan stuff with me, and if his affair partner was in town or available, he'd drop me without a word. So when the truth came out, I was pissed as hell with him. My younger sister was more forgiving and continued to have a relationship with him. The affair was revealed because she was pregnant. She lost that baby. They ended up getting married and 2 years ago had a child together who I never met. A few months ago they both died in a car crash that claimed 5 people's lives. A social worker contacted me and my sister to see if one of us would take her in. We were left until last because they wanted older bio relatives first. But none of them wanted her. My sister asked if we could raise her together. I said I was not getting involved and told the social worker I would not raise her. My sister, who is only 19, stepped up. There were some things that needed to happen. First, she dropped out of her college classes. She was working during the day and going to college at night, and she needed to move into a 2-bedroom place instead of the 1-bedroom she was in. She also needed to get some background check done. But she passed. She has the child. Now she's having a hard time with childcare. She knew I wouldn't say yes, so she asked our mom. Begged our mom. She told Mom if she loves her, she'll help her and she'll start opening her heart up to her little sister who is part of her girls. Even if she hates our dad still. My sister laid on a guilt trip to her. Mom said she needed to think. So she called me. Told me she didn't want to do it. That she hates the thought of having that child in her home and caring for her. But she knows it will ruin her relationship with my sister if she doesn't. I told her she shouldn't do it. That she would not be a good fit for one. But she would also be miserable, and while my sister might not hate her, she could end up resenting them both. She agreed with me and told my sister she would not watch her. My sister called and asked if I had anything to do with it. I played dumb and said I didn't know what she meant. She said she knew that was a lie because Mom was so close to doing the right thing, and suddenly she's firmly no. She called me a cunt. A bitch. Said I was heartless. That one day she'll tell our little sister everything and will make me face up to my rejection of her and my lack of care for her. I told her I owe the child nothing and I would not apologize for telling Mom to do what she wants. My sister then said I was cold-hearted and cruel and I don't seem to care about her either. I told her I cannot pretend to give a fuck about the child Dad created with his affair partner and that she would rather me stay away. She said it didn't mean I needed to push Mom to refuse to help her either. That I was still an ass for that. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. And honestly, I am surprised CPA gave your sister custody considering she is 19. Basically a kid herself. Not blaming your mother in the slightest for not wanting to do anything with the affair child of her ex-husband. Your sister is the one to blame for taking on a kid she wasn't financially ready for. Not the asshole. The only problem I have with your sister asking her mom to babysit was the guilt tripping. She knew her mother was uncomfortable. And she kept pushing. No means no. I also have the feeling that if Mom goes through with it, she will eventually be taking care of the child full time. Not the asshole. Younger sister made her choice. Mom has zero moral obligation to an affair kid. It is not in the best interests of this child to be cared for by a woman who does not like her and resents her existence. Your mother made the right choice. It sounds like your sister was really not in a position to take this child. Which is a shame for everyone. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but child services really gave this kid to a 19-year-old college student. Not the asshole. But damn. That poor kid. Your sister was kind to take her in, but trash talking you and your mother won't do the kid any favors. Not the asshole, you didn't push your away from doing the right thing. You told your mom it was okay if to give in to your sister's emotional blackmail. You want nothing to do with the child. You made that abundantly clear to your sister. Your sister is rubbing salt in open wounds for your mom by trying to emotionally blackmail her into helping with a child she wants nothing to do with. Your sister had to know that you and your mother would not magically change your mind about this child. Not the asshole. Your sister is gonna be really slapped back to reality when she's in a relationship or has kids of her own. She's basically forgiven a man who didn't waste any time forgetting his own daughters in exchange for some happy time under the sheets. So what if she poisons her half-sister's mind against you and your mom? Is that supposed to be damaging for you? If anything, she's gonna be the one who will be ostracized. Not the asshole. How on earth did the county let a 19-year-old adopt an orphan that, by doing so, effectively shortchanges her future to clean up dad's affair? Neither the child nor the adoptive parent, who is 19, are best served by this arrangement. Not the asshole. You saved your mother a lot of heartache and resentment. You did do the right thing. Your sister agreed to raise the child knowing how the rest of the family felt about her dad and his new family, so she can figure out how to care for her. A child should not be with people who resent her presence. Your sister needs to come to grips with that fact and understand that it would not be healthy in the long run. Poor kid. Not the asshole. Younger sister had no idea what she was getting into. Now she is regretting it. If your mom has agreed, I can guarantee she would end up being the full-time caregiver. Being related to someone doesn't make you obligated to them. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. But what kind of social services gives a child to a 19-year-old college student? WTF. Sister could have investigated another way to still be in the child's life that wasn't taking full responsibility for her. Especially because, well, she's unable to. Not the asshole. It is absolutely horrible what has happened to that baby. But your mom should not sign up for the pain of taking care of the child of two people who hurt her immensely. Your sister was way out of line with the "if you love me you will." That is narcissistic. You are looking out for your mom. You have no obligation to put this 2-year-old above your mother's well-being. I think you made the right choice, as I do not think your mother should be put through years' worth of pain. Not the asshole. No one had any reason to take that child in, especially your mother, who has been hurt deeply by the existence of that child. Your sister wanted to play the hero and fucked up her future. Instead of resigning on getting her shit together for the kid, she wants to drown you guys with her. Because she knows she bit off more than she can chew, and she's resorted to guilt and manipulation to get the one person she knows could to take care of that child. Not the asshole. You gave your mom support in her choice. You didn't force her to make that choice. Also, your half-sister would be able to pick up on it if your mom resented her. Kids aren't stupid. It's best for your sister to not be around people who will have negative feelings towards her. She and your mom are both innocent parties who are struggling enough. Your mom being pushed into caring for her will only hurt them both more. Am I the asshole for expecting my GF to leave the club after being not let in? I recently went out with some friends. 4 guys and 6 girls. My girlfriend being one of them. All the guys were hesitant to go clubbing because we knew it would be expensive and how this specific club treats guys, but my girl and the others convinced us otherwise. When we got there, they told us to be let in with the girls. We had to spend $400 on a table and a bottle or we wouldn't be allowed in. This is after all the girls went in. Of course we said no and dipped, and when I texted my girl if they were leaving, she said no, that they're staying. Some more context to this is that she is traveling soon and this is our last night together where she convinced me to go to this thing. Wasted my money. And then let me Uber home at 11 while she went clubbing with her friends when it was supposed to be our night. We have also talked about situations like this and she said OFC she would leave with me if anything like this ever happened. Am I the asshole for expecting her to leave right away when I texted her we weren't going to be allowed in? Or am I being dramatic and crazy? Not the asshole. Don't expect her to be your GF when she's back from her travels. Edit holy shush tea, and I should have put when she starts her travels. Not the asshole. That would be my last night with her at all. Not the asshole. Looks like in her mind she is traveling already. Were you planning on this being a continuing relationship? BC, it seems like she has made other choices. I don't think she considers herself to be your GF, otherwise she would not have left you on her last night. She has moved on and you need to do the same. Not the asshole. She just showed you she is her only priority. Drop her. Not the asshole. GF does not feel the same level of commitment to your relationship that you do. Time to realize that and understand what level your relationship truly is. Not the asshole. I would not stay anywhere my so is not welcome. I wouldn't even have walked through the door without him. Not the asshole. Did she offer to split? Did you meet back up with her afterwards before she left? You are not the asshole. The objective was to spend fun quality time together one last night before she left. Unless this place is super special to the both of you, she definitely could have compromised and gone elsewhere. There are plenty of other clubs. Not the asshole. But your GF is telling you what you mean to her and how serious she feels your relationship is. Does she need to keep telling you, or are you getting the hint? Let her go and find another someone who actually cares about you and wants to be with you. Not the asshole. Break up with her and move on with your life. Not the asshole. Your GF is an R. If I go out with anyone, my husband or my friend, and they are not being let in somewhere, I will leave. Because we are together and made plans to spend the night together. So if something doesn't work out, we look for something else. And I would expect the same from them because it is normal and decent thing to do for people you love. Not the asshole. She kiddin' of shows here how much she cares about you. Info. Did she and the other girls at least offer to split the $400? Not the asshole. Sorry to tell you, but doesn't seem like she is the one, bro. She'd rather club it up with her friends and do who knows what on your last night together. Not the asshole. She clearly doesn't value spending time with you a lot. Or she wouldn't have put clubbing with her friends over spending time with you. Make of that what you will. Not the asshole. It was supposed to be a night out together when they didn't let the guys in. Everyone should have left and done something else. Not the asshole. If you go out as a group, yo, stay as a group. More so if it was a couple's night out that transformed in something else. Not the asshole. You didn't go to the club with your girl. A girl went to the club with her friends. You just happened to be in line behind her. Not the asshole. You sir do not have girlfriend and she does not have a boyfriend. Unless you pay for her night out. Is it clear to you yet? Edit warning: this comment was sarcastic and may offend some readers. Read at your own risk. She expects a boyfriend to pay, and if you don't, then she will move on to a boyfriend who does. Girlfriend is a user and has already broken up with you in her mind pre-departure, or else she would have come back out of the club and gone to another place. Not the asshole. Don't wait for her. Not the asshole. Any chance this may have been a deliberate attempt to cause an argument to make leaving breaking up easier? Trying to work out if she was being self-involved or conniving. OMG run. Not the asshole. I wouldn't even expect my friends to ditch me like that, let alone my significant other. Seems like she doesn't care about you. Not the asshole. She chose the club over you and you have the right to be angry about that. How long have you guys been dating? Not the asshole. But if your GF doesn't even want to spend her last night before traveling with you, I think you guys have bigger issues than her not leaving a club BC you couldn't get in. I would focus on these issues. Entire breakup, because that's super disrespectful of her. Imagine a friend treated you this way. Not the asshole. That's pretty shitty that she ditched you like that after convincing you to go. Convo needs to happen. We were supposed to spend the night together before you traveled. It looks like I am not a priority in your life, and much as I view you as one in my life, sir, I'm setting you free to go find someone that matter as much to you as you did to me. I'm nobody's second choice. Have fun, and I need to go LCNC for a while until my heart heals. Adios. Not the asshole, and she won't be your GF for long. That is fairly obvious. Sorry bro. She's already broken up to go traveling in her mind. May as well get it in first officially. Not the asshole. How long have you been together, and does she usually treat you like an ATM? She clearly wanted to go out on the town with her girlfriends. Sounds like you and the guys were purely optional in their view. Not cool. My girl would have rallied the girls and all the boys to split the tab amongst the 10 of you for $40 a head, and I would have covered both our heads. Your girl is for the streets. Not the asshole. Sooner you move on the better. Not the asshole. I understand her wanting to have a fun night out, but the deal should be all in or no one in. If she wanted to go out with the girls, she should have arranged a girls' night. Not the asshole. She needs to set her priorities straight. And if you're not it, then I'm sorry, but she doesn't deserve to be yours. Not the asshole. She doesn't care about you, mate. Anyone that would leave their other half outside like that obviously doesn't care much about them. I'd give her the flick for that personally. Not the asshole, but run, pal. Not your girlfriend anymore, I hope. There were 10 people. Why not just split the cost at 40.00 person? She obviously had her heart set on that location. Not the asshole. Time to get back in the dating game, my friend. Nope. You've been left behind. You're just an option to this girl. Not the asshole. She's not your girlfriend, bro. Not the asshole. Find a new GF. Not the asshole. Sorry about the breakup. Not the asshole. You probably don't really have a girlfriend anymore. You know that, right? Am I the asshole for asking if my daughter-in-law fell when I heard of her miscarriage? TW pregnancy loss. My son announced his wife's pregnancy at 8 weeks after hearing the heartbeat. Unfortunately, she had a miscarriage around 10 weeks. When my son called me on the phone, I was so shocked that I just blurted out, "Why? Did she fall?" She did not fall. By the way, I didn't realize I was on speakers during that call and my daughter-in-law overheard my reaction. When she got pregnant again, they didn't announce until well into the second trimester, due to my daughter-in-law ending in a very unexpected C-section. My son requested my help to come over. I cooked, cleaned, did laundry for them, washed the baby, etc. Despite all my hard work, she was still very cold towards me and treated me rather poorly. I finally asked her why and she admitted that she was furious when I sounded very blaming when I asked if she felt that's why her previous pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. I told her that I asked if she felt not to blame her in any sense but out of concern for her. I said that I am aware there are other reasons that miscarriages occur as members of my immediate family have suffered the same. I was very sad to hear the news. All of us were so happy, excited about her first pregnancy, then next day heard the sad news. We all called to speak to her directly and see how she was but were told she was not ready to speak. We tried to give the space and time she needed for the situation. I don't think she believed me though. Am I the asshole for asking if my daughter-in-law felt that's why she had a miscarriage? Edit I now see that I was acting like the passageway of excrement. I guess I now understand why I was never invited again to their house to see my other newborn grandkids after that. They only introduced their new babies when each turned over half a year old. I don't think I will apologize regarding the fall comment since the first birth happened 7 years ago and it's just weird if I suddenly bring the topic now that they have a new baby again. I might be accused of pandering like my daughter-in-law has accused me of gift bombing previously. Thanks everyone for the wake-up call. Edit 2. My son did his best to be there for his wife for 2 weeks. 1 week was the baby and mom inside the hospital due to complications. My son just then started a new job and couldn't take longer days off, so I volunteered to stay a bit more when he had to go back to work. I think her I'm sorry. I just blurted it out. It was thoughtless. I know nothing was your fault. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel worse, would have gone long way to smoothing things over. Have you actually sincerely apologized and accepted responsibility for your words yet? It sounds like your primary concern in the conversation was avoiding blame. It doesn't matter what your reasoning or intention was. You did something that saw hurtful to someone that was grieving. If you really care about her, acknowledge that you caused her pain that you didn't intend and apologize for it. The estimate is that more than 25 of pregnancies miscarry. There doesn't have to be a reason or event. It can just be a non-viable pregnancy. Now that you know this, you can refrain in future from trying to pin down a reason, lessening the danger of making an already grieving person feel blamed. I mean, that's a pretty tone-deaf thing to say right when learning the news. You could have asked if she was okay or something. You know, like a person. YTA. This is one of those situations where you need to tuck your tail and profusely apologize. Not because you had any bad intentions, but because this situation is so painful that it just doesn't matter. Pride doesn't have a place here. Don't make excuses, don't apologize through your son, speak to her directly, genuinely and lovingly. I am sorry I said something hurtful during a terrible time in your life and there is nothing I can Do to reverse that stupid remark. Just please know I realize how insensitive it was and wish I could. Info. Why was your first assumption that she fell? You're the asshole. You were told she miscarried and your first words were why. Here is a tip for you. When someone gives you some big news, traumatic news, something obviously huge in their lives, it perfectly acceptable and preferable to take a small deep breath and small pause. This is where you think about what to say instead of spewing out the first thing that pops into your head. You're the asshole. Miscarriages happen a lot more than people realize due to a variety of things. Not just from something physical. When you asked if she fell, you basically put the blame on her like it was her fault. You could have asked anything other than that in that moment. Is she okay? Is there anything I could do to help? I'm so sorry would have been much better. Info. At any time, such as after she told you why she was upset. Did you apologize to her for saying that? Something like, Dill, I am so sorry for what I said. I was shocked and upset and did not mean to imply you were at fault and will not say anything like that in the future. Question. Have you ever actually apologized for that being your first reaction? If not, do so ASAP. Either way, you're the asshole for this being the very first question out of your mouth after hearing about her miscarriage. Maybe Mill has done something in the past and this was just the straw that broke the camel back. Just saying. I want to say nah. Your response was unhelpful to say the least, but it wasn't said out of spite. You also didn't know you were on loudspeaker, which suggests to me that if you did know your daughter-in-law was on the line, you may have reacted differently. But you do need to repair the damage with her. You need to accept that you hurt her feelings and that it is on you to make things right. You gave her a long explanation instead of the appropriate apology when she expressed how hurt, insulted she was by what you said. You still owe her an apology. You're the asshole. You don't need to know why anyone miscarried. Nor do you need to ask any questions at all. Just say you're sorry and ask how you can help. Yes. It's none of your damn business. Light. You're the asshole because it sounds like you had a big foot in mouth moment and are reasonably apologetic and didn't actually mean harm when asking that question, but sadly may have hurt your DIL's feelings in the process. Is there any chance of having a big heart-to-heart sit-down and having a huge heartfelt apology, or do you feel that's long gone at this point? You're the asshole. Despite all my hard work, she was still very cold towards me and treated me rather poorly. Yay. Also, AYFKM with that take. Because that seems to show you just expect her to get over it because you did some chores. You said something that gutted her and seemed more defensive than remorseful about it. You may not have intended to be hurtful, but wow. You stepped in it and you need to find the words to have a hard conversation and own up to it. Nah. A lot of pregnancies end in miscarriage during the first trimester. It's normal to be shocked and blurt out why when we hear shocking and painful news. I don't think we should be judged by how we react to hearing surprising and painful news. It is also very normal to feel a sense of ownership or fault when miscarrying. Just have a conversation about how you didn't mean to hint that it could have been her fault in any way, which it sounds like you did. Am I the asshole for confronting a gym trainer who was discreetly trash-talking me to his client? I am a Caucasian individual, born and raised in a Chinese-speaking country. In my country, it is common for non-Chinese people to not understand the local Chinese dialect. relying on English as a lingua franca. However, I can both speak and understand the local Chinese dialect. I was in the gym deadlifting 180 kgs. There's a gym trainer 5 meters behind me training an older Chinese lady. The lady asks trainer in Chinese what's the point of him lifting so heavy. Trainer replies in Chinese with nothing. His body doesn't even look good. He's young so he can do it now but he will regret it in the future. His joints and bones will hate him. They then both begin to talk shit about me in a contemptuous tone loudly in Chinese. All the while I'm still only 5 meters away from them. I turned around and told trainer I hear you in Chinese. And the blood immediately drains from his face. He takes the lady away and they finish their session in another part of the gym. When the session is over and the lady leaves, I go up to trainer and confront him over what he was saying. And we have the following from memory conversation in Chinese. Me, do you have a problem? If you have a problem, you can say it to me. Trainer, no, there's no problem. I was only saying good things about you. She asked what was the point. And I said it's just something he enjoys and he can continue to do so whilst he's young. Me, that is not what you said. Stop lying to me. You were talking shit in Chinese thinking I don't understand you. Well, you can clearly see I understand Chinese. Apologize to me. Trainer, why would I apologize to you when I didn't do anything wrong? Me, you have disrespected me already by saying those things. And you are disrespecting me now by lying to me. If you don't apologize, I will lodge a complaint against you. I have taken a video of you saying these things. And I will show it to your boss. I lied. I didn't have any video. I was bluffing because I wanted him to stop bullshitting me. Fortunately, he got visibly flustered and the bluff worked. Trainer, look. I don't want our relationship to be damaged. If we see each other, can we still be polite to one another? Me, sure. If you apologize. You made a mistake. It was unprofessional to say what you said about me to your client. Be a man. Own up to your mistake and say sorry to me. And I will forget it happened. Trainer, I am sorry. Me, okay, now walk away. At this point, trainer was shaking. Either from anger over being told what to do, embarrassment, or because of adrenaline from the confrontation. He walks away and I go back to my workout. I told my family that this happened and they all think I took it too far by confronting him at his place of work, by lying about the video and that I should have just ignored it. I can see that maybe the way I confronted him was not the best. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Honestly. You did a great job standing up for yourself. That was incredibly rude and disrespectful of your former trainer. Not to mention just plain mean. Not the asshole. Probably should have just logged a complaint against them, but I think what you did was fine. You taught them 2 lessons. 1. Not to be rude to people. 2. Don't lie to get out of another lie. I think you are right to confront them honestly. If they are happy to talk like that about a client, then they shouldn't be a trainer. Going to gym is a personal experience, they shouldn't judge that. At no point did I see you being rude, just being assertive. Also, nice deadlift. He was talking about you behind your back with a client, thinking you did not understand. You didn't called him out on it. Plain and simple. He was at work when he said it. Why shouldn't you confront him there? A. Lying about the video. I can get over that. He would not have apologized otherwise. And that is what you wanted, acknowledgement and an apology. He was in the wrong and not professional. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He was unprofessional and a liar. Good job. I get some and then everybody clapped vibes. This honestly sounds super fake LMAO. Not the asshole up to the apology. You're the asshole for the walk-away demand after he already apologized. People are going to talk crap about you every day of your life. Learn to let it wash over you. I think that you gave this too much attention and let it go on for too long. Not the asshole. He criticized your body. And it's likely because he was jealous. Also, he is completely wrong. Deadlines are fantastic functional exercise when performed correctly. And they're called deadlifts because you're supposed to go heavy on them. Heavy resistance training with the correct form has numerous benefits. Even for the heart. Numerous studies have proven that lifting heavy weights is beneficial to all ages. As long as someone has the correct form. Lifting heavy is great. Good on you. Had me cheering for you up until okay. Now walk away. That last sentence made me cringe. Like you're playing tough guy or something. The trainer for talking about you assuming you couldn't understand him. But I feel like you're a much larger asshole for your lame alpha male attitude. The trainer was shaking. You told him now walk away. Grow up, man. You're not the badass you likely think you are. Not the asshole, but you barely squeaked by. They're a huge R for talking shit about you behind your back. You were completely justified in confronting them, but I think you took it too far and got a little aggressive. For me, just knowing I called them on their shit and embarrassed then would have been enough. Forcing an apology was clearly a bit of a power move. If anything, you should have just escalates it to gym management when he denied it. Not the asshole until the okay now walk away face vomiting so cringy. I was somewhat believing this story until we got to the part about how the trainer was shaking. And then OP said now walk away and he did. All that was missing was and everyone in the gym clapped. Not the asshole. He clearly needed the lesson of don't insult your customers where they can hear you. Even if you think they can't understand your spoken language. There's no real benefit if you're right and a lot of potential problems if you're wrong. In this case, the trainer is lucky that you just wanted an apology. You would have been justified in reporting this to someone in charge. There is nothing wrong with calling people out for this kind of thing. Speaking in a language he believed you did not understand made his actions all the more disrespectful. His client too, it should be said. When you confronted him on his actions, a stand-up person would have immediately apologized. His lying only made him look small and weak. An apology is exactly what you should have gotten without demanding it. This sounds so made up, lol. YTA for saying be a man. This is such a sexist bullshit phrase. Not the asshole. I'll be honest. The fact that he actually did apologize and ask to continue to be polite to one another tempts me to say that no one is the asshole. However, the only reason he apologized is because of your bluff. Hopefully he will be true to his word and not let this sour your future relationship. But I don't see that happening. He was too proud to admit that he was wrong and he will be too proud to forget this ever happened. Not the asshole. I would have done the same. Am I the asshole for saying wow, I don't like you to my friend's boyfriend? This happened some weeks ago and I probably am the asshole, so I came here to check. I was at the mall with my best friend when another friend, let's call her S, noticed us and invited us over. S was with her BF at the time and wanted to introduce us. And since we enjoy meeting new people, we obliged. It did not take long before we realized that the BF was, let's say, strange. He refused to talk to us, giving one-word responses to everything, and when the topic went towards things we enjoyed or liked, he'd just go, "I don't care." It was disheartening to say the least. I try my best generally to include everyone in a conversation, but he honest to God refused to participate even when the topic was his interests or relationship with S. The thing that really broke the camel's back, for me at least, was that he made S talk for him and not in a "I don't know what to say, so please take the reins" way, but in an almost "they are beneath me" way. S tried her best to accommodate, but there were things she couldn't respond to, like what was BF's favorite video game and stuff like that. After around 30 minutes of trying to either ignore BF and discuss other things or let him speak, only for him to refuse to, I just didn't care anymore and went, "Wow, I don't like you." And he, once again, just ignored everyone, even S when she tried to defend him by saying, "I wish I was joking. I still don't understand the correlation that he's a feminist." The whole thing ended up just being awkward, and afterwards S didn't talk to me as much. It all came to a head at my best friend's birthday when S tried to confront me and said I was a bitch, was being mean to her BF. I was most likely rude, I agree, though I genuinely was out of things to say at that point. So, am I the asshole? Edit. I spoke to S and friend, and from what we know, me, S and my friend the BF isn't autistic. Me, S and friend are diagnosed with ASD, on the other hand. But if BF is, he isn't diagnosed, doesn't know it. Also, we are all adults. Since people asked,